Page 2, Brazilian Holiday. This book gets involved, so just stick back, go slow, take your time with it. The more advanced you get, the longer it takes to learn a piece. Where when you're beginning in that, you can pick up a piece in a day or less than a day. Here, you could spend a week, 2 weeks, a month on a piece. But you can work on more than one piece at a time. So just sit back and take your time here. I don't like giving lessons on the intermediate and upper intermediate and lower advanced stuff because the lessons last forever. I mean, you get bored, I get bored, everybody's bored. But there's like 6 books in this series, and the 6th book is the upper intermediate, lower advanced. So I probably won't give lessons on that, but this one is approaching that. So I'll try and give lessons on this one at least. And if you've advanced this far, you've done very well. You also should have a live teacher because you really need help with your technique and you need a live teacher for that. I can't teach technique effectively in this format. At least I haven't figured out how yet. So let's talk about the holiday. I'll look it over. It's 2 pages long, more or less. Treble bass clef, 1 flat in the key signature, so it's either an F major or D minor. If I look at the end, the bottom page 3, you're here, and that's a D minor chord, so I figure we're in the key of D minor. But go ahead and do the scales for both, F major and D minor. But when you reach this level, you should know these scales already. You should be comfortable with them already, and therefore you should be going at least 2 octaves, in my opinion. And 4/4 time signature, let's take it one hand at a time. I'll do the articulation later. Right now, just notes and rhythm. I'm here. I'll use their fingering at first, and then we'll see. 1 E and a 2. 1 E and a. 1 E and a rest. And 1 and 2 and the thumb. Come up. Just walk your way down. That's okay. Typically isn't the fingering we would use on this, but it's okay because we normally would do that. But we're out of position to go on. So this is good. Good practice. We use 3 on each of these. It is a sequence going down. We're doing them all the same. And cross over. And the second line, second measure, that C sharp is good for the rest of the measures. So those are C sharps at the end. The rest come back up. Now it's here. Same rhythm. 1, 1, 4. Don't use 1, 5 on all these. No. 1, 4. And then a third line at the end of the first measure. You're up here. Same thing. Now here, remember there's a B flat now. If you don't want to use thumb, you just reach down and use second. I don't know how big your hands are. And there's C sharps in that last measure. And during the rest, you come up here. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Crossover 1 and 3. Rest. And then come up a little bit. I don't like the idea of, this is the last line on page 2. Second measure. I don't like the idea of blending on 3rd finger because I need 3rd finger for the next note. So I'll figure out a different finger. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 1. I'm going to end on 1. That's 2, 1. This way, my 3rd finger is available. The last measure, 1 E and a 2. Same thing. Now here you can, this is the first measure on page 3. You can end on 3rd finger here because you're on the same note for 3rd. And that last note in that measure is a G sharp. We had a G sharp earlier in the measure, so it's still sharp. So again, that measure is here, 3, G sharp, and keep the G sharp. Now natural. And thumb, the last measure of the first line on page 3. This way my 3rd finger is ready to hear. Third line, triplets. 1 and a 2 and a, or triplet here. It's 1, 3, 3. I would prefer to start that with thumb because this is a sequence going down and I'm going to do a 1, 3, 2 on all of them. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3. And in that case, I'm going to start it with thumb. You can start it with 2nd finger. then do it, but I like to be consistent. 1 and 2 and or triple the coda at the bottom. And again, it's 1/4. They come up. Got this rhythm all over the place. The last line, C sharp. And the last measure here, you come down. And for the last chord, I don't recommend 1, 2, 5. This takes that note and the chord following it. It's a D minor chord in extended position. So I'm going to use 2, 3, 5 there. I'm going to keep my hand here. That helps out in a lot of pieces, so I encourage you to get in the habit of that. However, do it the way your teacher's telling you to do it. Now, the left hand, we're playing a broken chord. The second line is on thumb. Then come up. Oh, this is fun. Go to the top, page 3. We're here. They want a 2-1. You can. I prefer a 3-2, I think. But thumb doesn't have to do it all. And then come down. Same thing. 3-2. Down. Yeah. And then the triplet you got here is 1. So we can't really be consistent here. It's a 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It doesn't work because of the black key. It's in the way. So we do to get it started, 1, 2, 1, and then we can go. Put the hands together, and I'll hesitate, that's okay. Second measure, we're here. Okay. Second line, we're here. Hand up. While you're doing that, get the right hand up. Okay. Let's go down to the last line on page 2. We're here. Yeah. Left hand up. 2. The third line, they're all triplets. Once you get the fingering worked out, I'm starting the thumb on both hands. Just got to figure out which fingers are working together. Here. See, it's starting each one with these fingers, and then here. These fingers. Once I put the hands together, then I go back over it just a few measures at a time slowly and work out the hesitations. And once the hesitations are gone for now, the articulation. The staccatos are short and flexing at the wrist. Second line, accent, bottom, bottom. They're not staccato. No, just lift up. These accented, separate them. Now, in the first line, go back up, second measure, you see between the staves simile. That is here, because remember, a simile can refer to anything. It depends on where it's at. In the first measure, they're giving you staccato in the left hand. But they don't anymore. And the simile is right there next to the bottom staff. So it's telling you, keep the staccatos going. Just play the left hand staccato. Now in the second line, in the accent, those you just separate those. But everything else is staccato. I go down to the last line on page 2. We're here. Staccato. Then it's 2 note slurs. And these, you can play in staccato if you want. I typically don't. It's a contrast, but you can. I like them better in that measure. This is the last line on page 2 in the second measure. I like the contrast between this and this. So I don't do staccatos on that, but that's interpretation. I just like that contrast between them. You can play them staccato if you want. It's interpretation. Now on page 3 in the third line down, those triplets, they're accenting all of them. Here, separate them. Technically it's staccato, but it's a long staccato. Both hands the same. Yeah. Not short. No, a long staccato. And then you go back to staccato. This isn't this. This is the third line down, second measure. Raise this when I play that. Yeah. So I add in the articulations, a little tricky. Then I add the dynamics, and that applies to the melody, which is the right hand. Moderately loud. It starts out moderately soft here, and that's fine. You just stay there. This comes in moderately loud. Makes the accented notes a loud note. And then you're loud there at the end of the second line. Top of page 3, you're moderately loud at first. Now soft. And the second line, loud, very loud. I don't agree with putting accents in very loud notes, other than separate them slightly. So I'm not connecting them. No, separate them, just a little silence. Otherwise, play them regular, just loud. Huh? And then the very loud, both hands. And the diminuendo at the third line, hit the end. Then the coda, start out soft, right hand. Left hand's very soft. A little louder. Loud. And you're going up to very loud. Well, good luck with that. I think in the last line, you probably ought to start that at moderately loud, so you got more room to get louder. Because when you're playing quickly and loud at the same time, it's rather hard. You tend to get tensed up. And when you start getting tense, the muscles don't work anymore. Tense muscles don't move. You got to stay relaxed, but you're getting heavy. So it's heavy, heavy, just really heavy. Heavy. Just really heavy at the end. And that's both hands there at the end. Here. So that's sort of the idea of the dynamics. It's better to get into it and get past the mechanics where you're really getting into the music. You feel the dynamics. You might adjust them slightly. Then the speed. Oh, good. Allegro moderato. Well, it depends. How fast can you do these? Bum, 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 bum. Flex the wrist here. Don't go with the arm. Bum, 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 bum. You do the arm when you're heavy. At the end, bottom page 3 here. There, it's more arm because I need more muscles because I'm heavier. The wrists don't provide enough force going down. Here, so you got to use not a lot of arm, a little arm. So how fast can you do those accurately? And that's going to be your Allegro moderato for now. Everybody will be a little different. They do add a pedal at the very end on that last note, and that's again to provide overtones on that sustained note. That's fine if you want to add it. I'm not going to bother. I didn't use pedal elsewhere. Why bother? But if you want to add pedal, put the pedal down with the note, hands, and then up with the note. The pedal goes down with it. It doesn't lag on this because it's really loud. We want the overtones immediately. We want the explosion. Now, when you get to this level, I don't really think you need to play with me. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Because you should have a real good idea of whether you're playing the right notes or not. by now. If you don't, you're really gone too far too fast. Go back and review all the other books again. So I'm not going to bother with Play With Me's in this book, I don't think. Hopefully you understand where you're going when. The DS all coda at the end of the third line on page 3. The DS means go back to the sign. The sign is at between the first and second measures there on page 2. The sign for the coda is at the end of the third line on page 2. So when you get to that point, you immediately jump across and play the coda. But you don't have to play it as fast as I do. You take it at your speed. If that's as fast as you can play accurately, that's close enough. It's a little slow, but do the best you can. Play it accurately.